Hello, everyone, and welcome to Calculus 1 class. I'm excited to have you in class. And our very first lesson today, we're going to start studying one of the most important branches of mathematics. So, if you've never seen any of these ideas before, this first lesson is designed to introduce you to the big ideas behind calculus. You're not expected to understand everything immediately. My goal for this lesson is to simply help you understand why calculus was invented and the kinds of problems that it solves. And throughout this lesson, I encourage you to pause the video whenever you need more time to work on an example. Remember that learning mathematics isn't about watching someone else solve the problems. It's about practicing them yourself. If you don't practice yourself, it's not going to stick. And important to note that now that we've started calculus, those algebra and trig skills that you learned previously are going to become very important tools that we use throughout this course. Calculus builds on so many ideas from algebra and trig. So if you forget anything from those past classes, please let me know as soon as possible. I'm happy to help you review and strengthen those skills. It's really important that you feel comfortable with the algebra and the trig we use because small gaps in understanding can quickly lead to confusion and snowball out of control. It's important that you understand everything as we process these steps. So don't hesitate to ask questions or request a review session with me. I really don't mind. Getting help early will make learning calculus so much easier, and you'll be more successful. All of my lessons are based on and follow the OpenStax Calculus 1 textbook. Before we jump into the lesson, though, I want to start with an interesting question that is based on the introduction photo in this lesson in the textbook. Have you ever watched a science fiction movie where a spaceship travels faster than the speed of light? In a lot of sci-fi movies, you'll see spaceships that can travel almost instantly across a galaxy or a universe. And it makes for a great story, but is it actually possible? So over 100 years ago, a scientist named Albert Einstein, I'm sure you've heard of him before, he showed that nature has a speed limit. And according to his work, an object moves faster and faster, something unusual happens. The object becomes harder and harder to accelerate. In other words, it takes more and more energy to make it go even faster. And no matter how much energy you add, an object can never reach or travel faster than the speed of light. And this was his theory, I'm sure you've heard of it before, called theory of relativity. The speed of light is approximately 186,000 miles per second, or about 300 million meters per second. That is super fast. Light could travel around the Earth more than 7 times in just 1 second. But there's the really interesting question. How did mathematicians and scientists prove that there was a speed limit? There's one of the most important ideas of mathematics that involves something called a limit, and that's what we're going to focus on in this chapter. So everything in calculus is based on the limit. The idea of getting closer and closer and closer is the whole idea of calculus. What we will learn in this chapter. So in this chapter, we're going to answer several important questions. What is a limit? How can we estimate a limit by looking at a graph, a table, or an equation? Then we're going to learn that not every function behaves very nicely. Sometimes we get closer to a certain value, the function doesn't approach a single answer. And that's when we say that the limit doesn't exist. I don't want you to worry about memorizing everything. Calculus introduces a new way of thinking about mathematics. It's not it's going to seem different than algebra and trig. And so if it feels uncomfortable at first, that's pretty typical. Don't worry. Just ask if you have any questions. But it's very, very important that you understand the idea of a limit, since everything in calculus is based on the idea of the limit.